Hi guys, TuhonBillMcg here. We're Zoltan Juhas from Hungary. I wanted to show you the time and place for different jabs in Pekiti Tirsia on knife work. So you have this basic long range jab in sac, right? There's a difference between doing this with the lead hand and doing it with the rear hand. When I'm doing it with the lead hand, for instance, if I have this much reach with just the extension of my arm, no hip motion, and I turn my rear hip, I get an additional 7-8 inches. If I take my rear leg off the ground, I'll get, another foot or more, let's say a third of a meter. But there are pros and cons of these. That quick jab without any leg work, my recovery is very fast. If I just turn the hip, I also have a fast recovery, but because I'm covering more distance, it's not going to be as fast as simply moving the arm. And if I do that leg extension, yeah, obviously I'm getting a lot more distance, but I'm also slowing down my recovery. I'm simply, taking more distance. What we found in sparring is the very first time you use that long jab with that leg extension, yeah, you'll hit your man. The second time you try to do it on the same guy in sparring, he'll see it coming and nail you. So this applies to combat. If you're fighting multiple opponents, yeah, you might get the first guy on this, but don't try it again in the same fight, because the other guys will see it coming and they'll nail you. Now, if you use this in spotted dagger, with the rear hand, things are a little different. I scissor in, and yeah, I gotta be careful. He's got that long weapon there. I'm throwing this up as a jab into his eyes, but if I'm at range and try to do that long extension, he's likely to be quick enough to cut me with that spada. So I need to come back with that spada myself. So I can't afford to spend all that time with the leg extension technique. So there's a right place and a wrong place to use the sac version of that jab. If we go to ice pick grip, again, on the lead hand, you have extension with just the jab with hip turn, and the jab with the leg lift. And there's also different angles here. So you basically want to stay away from the triangle of his forearm, the blade, and the length of his blade. That triangle caused by that. I don't want to fall inside that. So I don't want to, let's say we're both on horizontal jab. I don't want to obviously go this way and match the angle exactly. We're both kamikazing each other there. And I don't even want to match the angle. Let's say we're both doing a diagonal jab. I don't want to fall into that triangle. So if I did a diagonal jab here, I'll step offline so that my initial point of contact, my arm is parallel with his blade and I pull under that. So no matter where he has it, if he has his arm vertically, that's the time I might want to use a horizontal jab in order to capture his arm. What you're trying to do here is simply not match the angle of the forearms, either diagonal that way, diagonal this way, or let's say horizontal this way, right? You're simply looking to get an opposing angle and not fall within that triangle of his blade. Now, when you go to a spotted dagger with that, there are times where you deliberately do want to have a predictable return on this. For instance, if he scissors on 2, very often you'll see a horizontal jab used as a bait in spotted dagger, because I want him to come down that predictable trail or path so I can cut and capture and come in. So there are times where you actually do want to be predictable when you're trying to lead him down into an ambush. So if I come in here and I'm at range and I want him to go for my dagger arm, I'm going to throw that horizontal to get that cut that I capture on a diagonal cut and come in. So what I want you to appreciate is the fact that no technique is invincible. There are pros and cons of each way to do the technique. There are counters and recounters for every technique there is. So, please keep an open mind as you practice the Pekiti Tirsia system. Thank you.